From tumbling temperatures to storms in the west, this morning we're closely watching the weather you'll run into as you step out the door and get ready for the Thanksgiving holiday.
And you might be dreaming of a white Christmas, but before that, you'll be getting a warm Thanksgiving. We'll show you where temperatures will be nearly 20 degrees above average on Turkey Day, and then when we're going to see a 20-degree cool-off.
I'm Maria LaRosa at Atlanta's Hartsfield Airport, where the morning hustle and bustle for the holiday is on. I'll have a live report coming up. Morning Rush starts right now.
Well, good morning. It's Tuesday, November 20th, 2012. Welcome to Morning Rush. I'm Stephanie Abrams, live in New York.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Bettis at the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta. Maria LaRosa joining us live this morning from Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Maria, good morning.
Good morning, guys. We are already seeing a good crowd come on through. It is just beginning this holiday rush. I'm going to have a live report, let you know where some of the travel hot spots, cold spots may be and how that could impact you. But first, Steph, we've got a lot going on across the West.
We do. We want to keep you in Oregon right now. People are cleaning up after a powerful storm slammed on the Oregon coast. Nearly 100-mile-per-hour wind gusts. We saw that around almost 700 feet. The storms also dropped over an inch of rain in Newport, flooding streets and also snarling traffic. For a closer look at that storm and what else we're watching, here's Mike.
Let's run through it here, boy. We've got a potent system here in the northwest. It's really impacting us now through Oregon, Washington, up through Montana and Idaho. Look at that plume of moisture rolling in off the Pacific. A ton of wind and rain for us here. Some of us will see localized wind gusts as high as 55 miles an hour to go along with the prolific amount of rain, and then mountain snow for us here. Eugene, just north of Eugene on I-5, we got plenty of heavy rain for you, and here's how much more we'll see. 2 to 3 inches. Gold Beach through Crescent City, Eureka, 2 to 3 inches could be coming your way. In Medford, another inch of rain for you, and in Redding, 1 to 2 inches. This will be through Thanksgiving morning. And then notice here, we still have more rain to go in Astoria, another 1 to 2 inches. In Seattle, an inch of rain could come your way, and in Portland, an inch of rain. On top of, by the way, Seattle, the over 2 inches of rain you saw yesterday, which was a daily rainfall record and put you in the top 10 all-time wettest November days. On the contrast, though, we're dry here in the Midwest, and it is a cool morning for you. Minneapolis, 35, Chicago, temperature going to be about 50 degrees for you. Today, 52 degrees, your high temperature in Minneapolis, 65 in Kansas City. This afternoon, you'll do 57 in Chicago, which is actually 12 degrees above average. Now, tomorrow, big travel day for a lot of you. No real concerns for you in the Midwest. Dry conditions, and we're looking for plenty of warm air out there. 62 in the Twin Cities, 74 in Wichita, 69 in KC is almost 20 degrees above average. And in Chicago, you'll do 59, which is 14 degrees above average. Then on Thanksgiving Day itself, still very mild. How often do you get 60 degrees on Thanksgiving Day in Chicago? 68 in St. Louis, but there's the little bit of that cold air now starting to work its way back in. 36 is all you'll muster in Bismarck on Thanksgiving itself. Steph?
Mike, cold air, it's back to average finally. They're still actually above average with that 36.
Well,
it's such a freak thing. Here's a look at the holiday rush that's already in full swing. This is what it looked like at Chicago's O'Hare Airport yesterday. Of course, one of the busiest airports in the nation, and that's going to continue as we head into our Thanksgiving. All right, it's time for your travel. What is happening in the air and on the road? We're going to start you off here in the air and show you our forecast maps. No problems here if you're traveling today from New York, Boston to Chicago, St. Louis, Dallas, you're good. San Francisco, maybe some delays, but pretty typical in San Francisco to get that fog and some of those showers. So O'Hare and Midway, you're good to go. 8 miles visibility. The winds are not bad. We're not going to have problems here as we head through the day today because of the weather. So if they say it's because of the weather, it's either because of the weather in another city or they're just giving you some shenanigans. Seattle, that's where we could see a little bit of rain here, light showers, but no delays right now. It's still quite early in the morning, but maybe some problems, especially with that wind. I'm telling you, the wind can cause more problems than the rain at times, Mike, because that takeoff and landing with the wind can be much trickier.
And it makes you very, very nervous because it is just so bumpy. Thanks, Stephanie. Well, AAA says more than 43 million of us will be traveling this Thanksgiving. That means the roads and airports, they're going to be packed, and that includes the nation's busiest airport, Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson. Maria LaRosa is there this morning. It seems like so far so good, but volume, once that picks up, then the problems begin, right?
Yeah, we're going to keep our fingers crossed. We've been here since very early this morning. We've had a steady stream of folks coming in, most of them the holiday travelers, about 1.7 million of those 43 million coming through this airport alone by the time Monday rolls around. And believe it or not, that actually doesn't put Atlanta's Hartsfield in the top 10 busiest for Thanksgiving. So it kind of gives you an idea of the scope that we're talking about. Chicago gets that ranking, #1 for Thanksgiving travel. Interestingly enough, most of the top 10 busiest airports looking good weather-wise going in through the next 5 days, including Chicago, Boston, New York, Atlanta. But one airport that cracks the top 5 busiest for Thanksgiving, San Francisco, and we know what's going on out west right now, so we'll certainly be looking at San Francisco as one of those airports that could be a little bit tricky for holiday travel. But you can see behind me, any given day, this is kind of a normal scene here with lots of people coming and going and dropping off their bags. One piece of advice, if I could give, along with packing your patience, our little favorite cliche, you also want to make sure you check that 5 to 10 day forecast. You can get it at weather.com because, for instance, Atlanta, Chicago, basically the same temperature today. Not the case the day after Thanksgiving, so you want to make sure that you pack appropriately. Mike?
All right, Maria, thank you very much. Let's take you to one of those busy Delta hubs, and that is Detroit. Right now, looking for some light rain showers, temperatures at 41 degrees, so it's a bit of a raw morning for you here in Detroit, unfortunately, and it looks like as we go through the day, your temperatures aren't going to warm all that much for you, especially if you've got some cloud cover and you have a little bit of rain. Take a look at the numbers right now. Minneapolis 34, Marquette at 40, in Chicago you're at 50, so mild for you this morning. In Cleveland, you're starting your day at 37 degrees. By this afternoon, our temperature is 52 in Cleveland, 44 Minneapolis. We're enjoying the sunshine here for many of you. A dry day in the Midwest. This is a day to enjoy. This is a day to get out and do all your running around you need to do before the stores are just absolutely jam-packed tomorrow. Now we take you to Houston, 53 degrees right now. We have fair skies, so not a real issue for you this morning as you're heading out in Houston. Maybe it's your last day of work. I think you can manage with this kind of weather. So let's show you exactly what we'll be looking at here across the South as we go through the day today. 59 in Tallahassee, 55 in Memphis, current temperature 51 in New Orleans. Visibility could be an issue for you with a little bit of fog. At lunchtime, 63 Atlanta, 67 for you in Tampa. Afternoon highs will stay in the 70s for you in Tampa, St. Pete, Miami. Your evening temperatures after sunset drop down into the 60s. Now we take you into Boston where it's 35 degrees right now. We also have fair skies, dry conditions for you right now. I mean, no issues for you as you head out this morning in Beantown. Again, maybe for you it's your last day of work before you head out for the Thanksgiving holiday. Temperatures today should be a pretty decent 48 degrees for you at lunchtime in New York. Afternoon highs generally in the 50s in Pittsburgh, 60s in Charleston, West Virginia. Steph?
Coming up on Morning Rush, we continue to track the storm bringing heavy rain and snow to the northwest. We'll let you know if we're in for a calmer day. Plus, life after Sandy. We check in with residents who continue to struggle to get back on their feet. We'll have a look at the recovery efforts and the warm temperatures in the center of the country. We're not sticking around for that much longer.
Welcome back into Morning Rush. It is about 10 minutes past the hour. Coming up in about 90 seconds, parts of the Northeast still reeling from Hurricane Sandy. Even as lights come back on for parts of the Northeast, there's still the devastation left behind to deal with. The latest on the recovery efforts coming up. But first, here's Mike.
All right, let's run through the current weather. Thank you, Maria, and show you what you could be anticipating as you head out, especially this morning in the west. It's very, very active. San Francisco will be dealing with the possibility of some showers today, but you're definitely socked in the clouds. Heavier rain as you head up into Northern California, Eureka, all the way through Medford, work your way toward Portland. It is nothing but rain for you this morning. Salem, it's heavy rain for you, and then up into the mountains, it is snow. We've got flood warnings in effect. We have high wind advisories in effect as well, and then a smattering of showers here from, say, Olympia up towards Seattle. Flood warnings, there they are. It's a ton of them here. Tacoma all the way down to the state line in California. And then notice here over around Spokane and points north all the way to the Canadian border, we have some issues. There's our real energy. It's that upper level storm just sitting there. That's where the real center of it all is. And then you get these little pinwheels of energy off of it, and that moist flow just continues for you here in the northwest. So today, 53 in Portland with rain. Seattle, windy and rainy, 51 degrees for you today on top of record-setting rain that you saw yesterday, adding insult to injury for Wednesday. A lot of you traveling. It is nothing but rain here. I-5, I-80, I-90, 84, 94, you name it, we're getting socked in it. Steph?
The countdown clock to Thanksgiving is ticking louder and louder, especially for those struggling with life after Sandy. A full range of emotions on display every day, encouraging signs of progress in some areas, tempered by demoralizing signs of defeat in others. How bad are conditions at a public housing apartment in Brooklyn?
I never thought that or a New York City housing facility would get down to this low.
How dare they ask for this month's rent?
Residents dealt with dark and dirty hallways for 2 weeks. Power is back on, halls are cleaner, but problems persist. This mother of two wouldn't show her face out of fear of retaliation from the city. She's worried about the mold.
My kids, it's to the point where they feel they can't breathe.
Down in Staten Island, frustration for a homeowner and father of two.
Well, everything's damaged. Flood won't cover my contents. FEMA won't cover the contents. My homeowner's insurance don't cover the contents.
His Ocean Breeze home has been pushed off its foundation. The city has deemed it unsafe. To the east on Long Island, hope for families in Oceanside.
It's hard because everybody wants to be home. The holidays are coming.
Contractors are visiting homes.
Is water coming in, though? Is it leaking?
No.
The goal, restore basic necessities, heat, electricity, and hot water.
There's not much available housing stock around to move people out, so this is our temporary solution.
FEMA is paying for these temporary solutions. The hope is residents can return home quickly, maybe for the holidays, while waiting out their repairs.
If somebody can come in and get us water and electric and heat, we can get in and maybe move along faster.
Down on the Jersey Shore, progress out of necessity.
We took on at least a foot of water in here. Everything was soaked.
After losing all of its merchandise, this Ocean City store can't afford not to be open by Black Friday.
You can see we don't have any floors. The walls are just starting to go up. We just got everything ripped out. We're going to do everything we can. It's Black Friday. You have to be open.
One store owner was asked if his store will match the Black Friday crowds it had last year.
I think we might even exceed the crowds. And the reason why is everybody's in such a giving mood to help out our friends and neighbors in New Jersey.
That's good news there. Coming up at 45 past the hour, we'll talk to Mickey Carroll. He's the director of the Quinnipiac University Polling Institute. They polled New Yorkers to get their feelings on the response to Hurricane Sandy, so stick around for that. You might be surprised by the results. Maria.
All right, Steph, coming up on Morning Rush, we are going to get you state by state for the Thanksgiving travel, as the Morning Rush for holiday travel is beginning this morning from Atlanta's Hartsfield. Also, your 7-day forecast will take a look at the temp trends and how the storms are going to be moving from coast to coast. That's coming up when Morning Rush continues, but first, your local on the 8th.